They say that only legends know the truth, but we believe that it's the government who holds most of the secrets. And although they have good intentions, sometimes these secrets can be dangerous or even life-changing. So let's reveal 10 government secrets they don't want you to discover. Number 10. The United States has been tracking unidentified flying objects since the year 1947. If you thought this was a modern phenomenon, think again, because Project Sign was a top-secret U.S. Air Force project established in June 1947 to catalog UFO sightings across America. At first, the public knew about its existence, but by 1949, the project had become so controversial that the Air Force had to keep it under wraps. Project Sign ended in November of 1949 with no conclusive findings. However, rumors persist that the true purpose of Project Sign was to investigate and report on extraterrestrial activity rather than weather balloons or mentally unstable individuals. Number 9. Unidentified flying objects are not always what they seem. Okay, so we just told you that the U.S. government has been tracking UFOs since the 40s. But did you know that not all UFOs are actually extraterrestrial vehicles? In fact, some of them could be from another dimension. It might sound like a scene from a sci-fi movie, but this is what physicists and astronomers believe. In 2008, Harvard University hosted an astronomy conference where experts discussed the possibility that UFOs come from other dimensions. Since then, more than 10,000 scientists have signed an open letter to Congress asking for more research into this phenomenon. Now, even if there is evidence that some UFOs come from other dimensions, we may never see them, because the space-time continuum is very fragile and it would take a lot of energy to cross over. Number 8. Your emotions are controlled by your environment. We all get sad sometimes and we all get happy at times. But did you know that external factors can influence your mood? It's true, and the U.S. government has known this for decades. The CIA once conducted experiments to see how people react when exposed to subliminal messaging. Subliminal messaging is basically showing pictures or words for a split second, so you didn't have time to process them consciously. One experiment involved projecting a message that said, "Drink Coca-Cola," next to images of a Coke bottle. After running the experiment, the CIA found that subliminal messaging does indeed work, which means that your emotions can be influenced by outside factors without you being aware of it. Number 7. Telepathy is real. If you've ever read a book or seen a movie about telekinesis or mind reading, you've probably wondered whether it's all make-believe or if there's something to it. Well, the answer might lie in the Stargate Project. This was a CIA program from the 1970s that investigated extrasensory perception, or ESP, which is the ability to communicate mentally without using your 5 senses. According to the CIA's own reports, the Stargate Project showed that telepathy and other forms of ESP are real. The government even recruited people with ESP abilities to help them gather intelligence on foreign governments. However, after spending millions of dollars on the program, it was shut down in 1995. Number 6. Remote viewing is possible. Have you ever gotten a feeling that someone is watching you from afar? Well, the U.S. government has studied this phenomenon and concluded that it's real. Remote viewing is the ability to see things that are far away, and the government has spent years trying to understand how it works. One of the most famous remote viewers was Ingo Swann, who was recruited by the CIA in the 1970s. He claimed that he could see anything from a person to a place to an event simply by focusing his mind on it. Although many people dismiss remote viewing as a hoax, there have been cases where it appears to have worked. For example, during the Cold War, the CIA reportedly used remote viewers to spy on Soviet military bases. Number 5. Weather control is a reality. Have you ever wondered how those big airplanes leave those white trails in the sky? Well, it's not smoke. It's evidence of the government's weather control program. For decades, the government has been experimenting with ways to control the weather. Everything from rain to snow to even hurricanes. One of the most famous weather control programs was Project Popeye, which took place in the 1950s and 60s. The program's main goal was to control the weather in Southeast Asia, and it involved seeding clouds with silver iodide to make them rain. Although Project Poppy was eventually banned by international treaty, the government continues to experiment with ways to control the weather. Number 4. Mind control is possible. Movies and TV shows often portray mind control as a far-fetched concept, but the truth is the government has been researching it for decades. One of the most famous mind control programs was MK-Ultra, which was run by the CIA in the 1950s and 60s. The program involved experimenting on human subjects to see if they could be controlled with drugs like LSD. Although MK-Ultra was eventually shut down, the government continues to research mind control techniques. In fact, the Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency, or DARPA, is currently working on a program called the Brain-Machine Interface, which aims to develop technology that allows people to control computers with their thoughts. Number 3. There are secret military bases hidden all over the world. Yes, it's true. While we all know about the major military bases like Guantanamo Bay and the Pentagon, there are also a number of smaller, more secretive bases hidden all over the world. Some of these bases are used for testing new weapons or conducting secret experiments. Others are used to store top-secret documents or conduct espionage operations. One of the most famous secret military bases is Area 51, which is located in Nevada. The base is heavily guarded and shrouded in secrecy, which has led to all sorts of conspiracy theories about what goes on there. Number 2. The government is hiding evidence of past alien visits. This one is a bit of a stretch, but hear us out. If aliens have visited Earth in the past, which they have according to some reports, then it's likely that the government is hiding evidence of these visits. After all, the government has been involved in a number of cover-up scandals in the past. Just think of the time they tried to hide the fact that Elvis Presley was still alive, or when they tried to cover up the existence of Bigfoot. Okay, maybe that last one wasn't a government cover-up, but it could have been. The point is, the government has a history of hiding things from the public, and it's possible that they're doing the same thing when it comes to aliens. Number 1. Time travel is possible. If you've ever thought about time travel, you're not alone. It's one of the most popular topics in science fiction, and it's also something that the government has been researching for decades. In fact, the government has spent millions of dollars trying to figure out how to travel through time. So far, they haven't been successful, but that hasn't stopped them from trying. Maybe one day we'll all be able to time travel, but until then, we'll just have to be satisfied with knowing that the government is working on it. Do you believe any of these secrets? Let us know in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.